is November 9th, 6:45. Call the meeting to order. Trustees, let's see, Whittick and Johnson and Studi are absent today. Please, the rest of the board is in attendance. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Any public comment or input? No one? Okay. Make a motion to consent the agenda?
I will make a motion to consent the agenda.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Motion made by trustee, you're really enjoying it. Trustee Stein, and second by trustee Hinkle. Sheriff's report?
I'm Deputy Allen of the Sheriff's Office. I understand that you guys have the report already. Do you guys have any questions or concerns for us?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. No, I had just, I mentioned earlier about really glad that the sheriff is kind of monitoring Taylor Avenue, especially by Evergreen School in the morning, in the afternoon. That seems to be getting kind of sticky. People don't want to go that way unless they have to in the morning. So I really appreciate them being there, but continued monitoring of Taylor Avenue would really be appreciated. We've got people who are passing on double yellows a lot. And it's just a matter of time before we have a big wreck. And I think people in general just drive crazy, but we appreciate the help that you're giving us with that matter. Thank you.
There was an accident, I think. Was it right out here, and did it hit a tree?
Yes, about last week or 2 weeks ago, a vehicle hit that tree that's at the end of the village property line. That was
This one right here, like right by the.
right here on the left side.
I was wondering what that was.
I thought that
Yes.
was weird.
Vehicle was, eventually, I responded to that vehicle, just drove straight into the tree, didn't attempt to stop or anything.
And that's now our responsibility to take down, I believe.
The tree should be because it is on
Our
village property.
Okay, that's what was my, I just want to make sure.
Was the driver impaired?
The driver did perform field sobriety test, and he did fail field sobriety test, so that was taken into consideration as well. He was charged for that.
Was he hurt?
He was not injured. He had a passenger in the vehicle. The passenger was not injured either.
Okay.
That's good.
Thank goodness for that.
It was Sunday, right before Halloween, the Sunday before Halloween.
Yes.
Because we missed it by like probably half an hour. Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions for the sheriff?
No.
No.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
very much.
Please stay
Thank
safe
you.
out there.
Thank you.
Okay, President's report. Terry and I will, I think, share this one together. Building 2, has been rented out, and he's asked for a lot of repairs. We did send out a letter. Maybe I might have Kendall send it all to you, just so you're all on the same page. But it was, he was not happy with us that we were not getting repairs. Kurt has worked with him a ton. John has worked with him. It takes time to get some of these repairs done, but also in their lease, it's, as Kurt said, it really is as is. Some things like that, there was some electrical that wasn't working that we did need to get fixed. There were a couple, like, we'll help you with that, we'll help you with this. He was not happy with us, and we sent a letter. I talked to the attorney. I wrote a letter because it was not a great feeling that he felt like we weren't doing our jobs, but I sent a letter and kind of, I think I've calmed him down. We have not heard as much lately. We also, I'll send you the letter just so you can read it so everybody is aware, because I do kind of want everybody, I don't want him reaching out to everybody on the board complaining without him knowing that we've told him he has to go to Lateria if he wants any repairs done at this point. Not saying we won't, but there's just certain things that really, like, if you look at the spa, she has done most of those repairs herself. That's kind of the way our lease works.
Is it cosmetic stuff that he's requesting?
Some of it, yes, some of it, no. Like, But even in the lease, it states, like, if you want certain things done, like painting of the floor, if he wants that done, that really is his responsibility. We can approve it or say, no, please don't, but that's something we're not gonna do. So I've talked to Kurt a lot. One thing that came out of this was I suggested, and Kurt liked this idea, I haven't talked to John about it yet, or Dale, but a maintenance ticket that maybe they fill out if they want something done. But that's based on approval. And if it's a major emergency, like a water pipe breaks at Evergreen or something, obviously they have to call someone. But we were thinking about giving our new tenants, here's a packet of information, this is who you contact, you contact Lateria. Kurt and I talked about, we didn't necessarily want to throw out their names all the time because they really are part-time and we're all not here. Lateria's here part-time, Kendall's here part-time. He's just taken up a lot of Lateria's time and a lot of Kurt's time, and we've listed all the things. So I just I'll send out a letter just so you can see what he received from us, so you're aware. Building 5, is there anything else you want to say about the Bishop?
Well, this is like a copy of like a maintenance request, so I'll pass this along, so y'all can kind of see the template of something from start.
I think it's a great idea because then it sets the expectations a little more
Mm-hmm.
realistic.
Well, and we don't necessarily want them handing out, like filling out a maintenance request for everything, because there's certain things that will say that's your responsibility. Because really it is stated in their lease that it is their responsibility, but it might help then let us know what's going on in the village, in the administration office and with repairs, but also it will give Kurt an idea, like there's certain things that Evergreen will request, like salting right when it snowed and you didn't really there was no need to salt, it wasn't like sticking.
Yeah.
So, things, and obviously they're not gonna request that, but if it's like an outlet's out, I'm having trouble with this window, this is broken, is there anything we can do to fix it? Little things like that maybe bring us our attention.
Evergreen called the other day, they got a leak in a toilet, I just took care of it, we got plumbers over there and did it. I didn't even tell you, but it's,
That's fine.
that's kind of stuff that we do.
And you, really, Kurt, like you and John have to decide if we want to do this.
I know.
We just do it for building 2, I don't know. Everybody's getting them. No, also building 5, they were paying the power in that building and they're also connected to the streetlights. If you take a look at the streetlights tonight, some of the bulbs have been changed and we're hoping Kurt wants to change all of them and they're much brighter and I think they're a little bit more expensive, but.
I don't even know the price.
But they look.
But they're LED,
They look really nice. But when they didn't pay the power, because the lights are connected, that's how we knew they didn't pay the power didn't pay the power company, so all the lights went out. So now we've switched that, Lateria's taking care of that, and we paid the power company, but they also have not paid their rent, and they have not come to meet with you this week, right?
No.
She called Lateria and said she was gonna meet, and then they didn't. So we're now waiting to see what happens, and we've talked about, now we can kind of start if we need to evict them, we will, and we want to get that back out there so we can rent it back out.
Building 5.
Building 5, so, and that one's really hard because it has to be the whole building, it's really hard to break it up. So, anything else you want to say about building 5?
Yeah, I have some on the list, but,
They're paying a reduced rent, aren't they?
$3,200 a month?
I don't think it's reduced.
I don't think it's reduced.
Okay, because it was previously it was reduced. I think it was maybe, I don't know, 2,800, something like that.
Maybe for the first,
Yes.
for the 6 months maybe?
Maybe. So
Yeah, in the
that's-
contract, but it's not that way anymore.
Okay, so that's taken care
They
of.
have a 3% escalator every year.
Okay.
So, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, well, we might have some potential tenants because we've had people call in and we have kind of a list going, so like 2 or 3 people, so that may be good. So,
We just don't want it sitting empty.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of
Because
stuff
it's
still
a lot.
there.
yeah, it's a lot of property in there.
So we've talked, we know the next steps. We've already talked to the attorney about what to do next. So, there's that. And the turkey trot, I have nobody here from the events committee. I feel like I'm kind of helping Linda with that. And Jen, obviously. And there's gonna be a turkey trot. I don't know what it will look like. Come to the turkey trot.
When?
We're gonna, on Thanksgiving at 10 o'clock in the morning, we're gonna run. I'm not running, I'm just cheering.
Yeah.
And, run and I was thinking maybe run, I don't know, 1 lap around, 1 half lap and 1 full lap. And then we'll have, I think, we'll have hot cocoa, except we don't have electrical over there, so that's what I have to think about, see if we can borrow from the neighbor again. I don't know what to do there. And, yes, so,
That will be at the park.
yes, it'll be very simple and fun and just a great way to see your neighbors. And maybe the little library will be there by then.
I got a poll ready.
I'm waiting for Greg to finish it, so, he told me it was done. It was done, it's coming to you, but I haven't seen it yet. So, Trustee Hinkle, are there any reports from you?
Nothing to report.
Trustee Johnson is excused, Trustee Rude,
Nothing at this time.
Trustee Stein,
Nothing.
and Trustee Studi is excused, Trustee Riddick is excused, and I know you had a list, so go for it.
So the road damage on Oak Tree Lane, that's in the middle of getting repaired now too. So that within the next 2 weeks, that should be updated and back in business. So the water utilities taking care of that. Then we talked about a lot of this.
That's okay, I know, there were just, that's why I was like, add, if there's anything else I need to say about building 2 or building 5.
Getting that tree too, we're gonna be getting an estimate for that. So we've been having a lot of issues with trees in the village lately, so it's another one on the list.
The one up here?
Yeah, the one with the car accident.
Oh,
Or the one
all right.
up here.
No, the one up here, yeah. That one, I think they had a revised bid. and
$1,200.
It went from 800 to 1,200.
She revised it from 18 to 1,200.
Oh, from 18 to 12, I thought she
Oh, so
said
it went
8 to
down.
12.
Okay.
I was like, no!
Okay,
That's
that's
a big thing.
No.
Yeah.
It's so expensive though. the
That's,
trees.
it's very expensive.
All right.
So the one with the car accident, then, is that like an insurance claim or anything? Or is it just, it's a tree and you just have to, like, we're responsible because we have a tree and someone hit it?
I think it's just now our responsibility.
But I think there's something too, the state will send us a form
Okay.
saying, did you incur any type of damages? And then they try to go back to the person who's
I would
responsible,
imagine,
Okay.
I just, yeah,
try to get money from them.
I would imagine.
Because that's property damage.
yeah.
I mean, if they hit the building,
Yeah.
Sure.
you know, there would be some kind of claim on that, I would think, so.
I had a comment on some of the renters, when you do a background check on them, I think if we could maybe get into talking to some of the previous people who had rented to them,
Might be helpful.
and might be helpful just to find out, and I guess, one thing you could just ask them, that they don't really have to say anything negative or positive, is just, would you rent to them again? And if they say yes, well, then I guess you have a little bit more of an answer, but if they say no, then I think it's a big red flag.
Yeah.
Because we,
And it's kind of like an HR, if you ask someone for a background check,
Right.
they can't really say too much.
Right.
But they can say, yes, they were employed here, you know,
Yes,
there's like
exactly.
little subtle things that you
Right, right.
can ask.
so, we just kind of like, you know, maybe scrub them back a little bit and find out what's going on. So, I don't know if it's really, I mean, I think it's more important that we get better renters than having 100% occupancy all the time.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah.
It's very important.
Don't just fill the space with anyone.
Right.
Okay, anything else?
Oh, yes, so we were looking to rent the space in building 1 in the basement, but we're gonna put that on hold just because of some issues in building 2 with, some of the residents there for the tenant. So we wanna kinda hold that space just in case we have to move someone that's already currently renting.
Is that in building 2 for the music therapy?
Yes,
Okay, you can try to put them in the,
I don't think she'll do it.
no,
yeah. Well, it was offered to her before,
Yeah.
and she didn't take it,
yeah, I
but
know that's a big problem.
Mm-hmm. So I'm holding that space, I put that on hold, filling that space right now,
Okay.
just to see how things go.
Tell her we got a whole building that we're talking.
I know, I bet, I wish we could put her there, but there's no, you can't rent out any spaces there, so. There was a lot, and just to bring you up to speed, there was a lot of issues between 2 of the tenants in building 2.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of, it was an ugly week.
A lot of animosity.
It was a little, yeah, it was a little challenging, so.
I guess.
Yeah, and then today I got a call from someone that was interested in the space in building 1, but he did art, and then he was a tattoo artist. So you definitely have to be careful with putting
Oh, yeah.
neighbors together.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Again, building 5 didn't pay the rent, and then the utilities were cut off, so we're kind of in limbo with building 5. And I was kind of thinking it's big space, but maybe have like a common space and rent smaller spaces out within the building.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll work, but.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at it. That's just something I thought of.
Have you had a chance to go through the building?
Yes, it's
Okay.
humongous. That is a really nice big building. So hopefully we can get one person in there. That would be ideal.
Are
But
you starting to document things as far as getting ready for possible eviction if need be? You
Yes,
have to
yep.
check and everything?
yep, the lease is officially over October 31st.
Okay.
So
And she didn't pay for November then, or October also?
October, yeah.
She's 2 months.
And then the lights are cut off as well. So it's just a really
How long
big
do you think
difference.
the board wants to go as far
I
as?
think from the date of when her last day there, I think she has 15 days before we can actually start the eviction process. That's what we talked to the attorney already.
That's from the October 31st?
Yeah, we have to wait 15 days, and then we can't change locks. I gotta look back at Mark's email, but you can't change the locks until
She's officially evicted?
yes, and because it's a commercial property, not like a resident, then you can change the locks, I think, after 30. But I have to look back. Mark sent us all the information.
But you guys are on it. so
Mhm.
that's-
Yeah.
Yes. You definitely want to fill that space as soon as possible.
Mhm.
You actually said we need to start the eviction
Yeah.
process, so I was like, yep.
Yeah.
Anything else?
So the area on Lathrop that's not cut down, I did talk to the city of Racine Public Works, and they haven't been able to come in to cut that area down because they're having issues with the resident that lives there. He actually is like suing to get attorneys involved. His fences in the right of way. So,
I believe there's a resident who's not allowing that to happen.
so that resident's not allowing them to come over, so they won't do it.
I don't understand that though, because from one property, Heinrichs, all the way down, that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And getting up to the next property, you can let that look terrible, but I think
Mhm.
they could go from Heinrichs all the way up to that property.
What is this?
It's in front, you know where Heinrich's house is?
I don't.
So if you're over by CVS,
Okay.
and then there's that lot, and then there's that house with the
Oh,
fence.
Yeah.
The fence.
They're supposed to come and cut right up up to the fence and clean it up.
From the street
The
up to the
the
fence.
city should be,
The city,
is
okay.
supposed to be able to, it's not the county, it's the
It's
city.
a county.
It's a county?
Yeah, and it's just like from the street, the curb, up to that fence that they have in their front yard. It's
Okay.
this much. And they're supposed to maintain that because it's a county road.
Okay.
And every year you have to call them and tell them that because they always forget to do it. But yet if we have somebody who's interfering, saying, no, you can't cut that, well, you don't have any say about this,
Yeah.
from this site to this site. If you want to complain about your stuff, that's fine. But
Yeah, he said it was like really labor heavy and they've been having such an issue with it, they're going back and forth for months and he's called attorneys in and at this point they kind of backed off.
So the fence line is, so it's like the, what is that called?
easement,
Yeah.
Yes, so the easement is what the fence line is,
Yes,
and that's.
It's very-
I'll
yeah.
check that out.
it does look like it needs to be done, but,
Do they just come in with like,
they just say come in with a lawnmower
And
or, you
just-
know, something, and cut it down.
so it's not like there's trees or branches or
No,
like,
no,
like.
it's just big weedy stuff and it looks kind of bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check that out. Thank you.
And then I ordered a conveyance list too that lets us know who's moved in the village now, so we'll be working on that now. So we subscribe for the whole year and then we'll subscribe in January.
And that's used for giving to Patricia, that's,
Yes.
that's all downstairs. Patricia will use that to know where we have new residents, so she can go and greet them, Patricia Black. And I really appreciate her doing that because she's real good with that and she just loves meeting the new people. And then she gets their names and emails and gets them on the email list. And so that'll be great that Terry got that taken care of. So that way we still have, and then you guys put together a whole new welcome packet, right?
Yep, so
Yeah,
she's giving
so
those
that'll
out to the new residents.
Yeah, so that'll be good. So for a while there, it was kind of stuck because we used to rely on the Journal Times for the property transfer list, and they stopped putting that out. So then I contact Carrie Pope, who's a register of deeds, and I said, okay, can we do this? And how can we do this? And she sent me something, I sent it to Lateria, Lateria took it, ran, and then she got this conveyance list, which will help.
Yeah, I think that'd be
It's
good.
important, I think, to keep the new residents in the loop as to what's going on, because a lot of them don't know anything about the stuff that happens in the village ordinances and where to vote and garbage cans and things like that.
And that the packet or the folder that we give them is very informative, so it kind of is a guide to everything in the village. So that was my report.
And just so you're aware, Kendall finally found stuff on the tree stump. They've not done anything with the tree stump yet.
Okay.
I want the tree stump to just go away, and so we'll call Shirley Miller and we'll let her know that this is really an ordinance, you have to get it taken care of. Do you want to take care of it? Do you want us to take care of it? How do you want to proceed going forward? But
Put the documentation on the actual as well.
yes, and we were waiting also to hear from the lawyer one more time, so he's got the information, but it was really hard to find. But Kendall thinks now she's got it all in place.
Okay.
Okay, moving on, a public hearing on the proposed Village of Elmwood Park budget for the year 2024. And I think no one's here, so we can just,
Well, we have
Does
one
anyone want to talk
resident.
about it?
Yeah, one
Do we want-
resident, does he have any
do you
questions?
have any questions about the
Upcoming budget?
Elmwood Park budget for next year?
I have no idea what you're doing, so no, at this time, no.
Okay.
Okey-doke.
All right, moving forward, I would like to invite Lou from Siding Unlimited to present us a little bit about the windows that he brought tonight. And this is somebody we're looking at for windows for the complex, for every building, but basically this one. So Lou, take it away.
All right. So I'm not sure what all you guys know and don't know as far as you all got pricing, the different sheets and stuff. Just so you know real quick that the SH means single hung. The PIC in the middle means a picture window. And then SH, so SH, PIC, SH is a single hung picture, single hung. Also, when you are looking at the quote, anything that says TMP is tempered, so any of the bathrooms and all that are tempered glass. And the bathrooms, of course, are obscure. Obscure means like this, in case you don't know, where you can't see through it. It'd be top and bottom on there. And then when I originally met Kurt, we talked about the basement windows. We did them in a separate price point, just to show you guys what the price would be to do those versus like a glass block. We didn't do glass block, but they're substantially less expensive, I know, than doing glass block. And I did all those in picture windows, which would not open and obscured, because that'd be the same thing you would do if you were glass block, you wouldn't be able to open them. Also, as far as maintenance down the road versus glass block and chipped and cracked and have pieces, that could be harder to replace if something did happen to them, as far as a lawnmower or something hit the glass and that kind of thing, from that standpoint on there. So on the pricing is substantially less for what they used to call this Encompass. They're now Pella, called it for a few years, called Vinyl by Pella. This one is actually the same quality of glass, the same Energy Star rating, the same U factors, the same foam filled sashes, and all that. As there are cheaper windows, and we can sell you cheaper windows, but we won't sell you cheaper windows because we don't want to be in Racine and Elmwood Park every other week with issues and that kind of thing. So, looking at this for most of the time when we do multifamily or commercial applications, in this instance, this window is less expensive. One reason it is less expensive is that if you look here on the outside frame is thinner versus this one versus the 250 series. The 250 series is usually used more for a new construction process or what we call a full install. This one is thinner because it's used as like a construction or a remodel install. In this case, we're not replacing all the trims inside the homes or the buildings and that. So this also will give you more glass space for each one of your windows and not take up so much room, because if we were to put these within the frame that's there right now, you would actually have less less glass space. Yes, I am proposing to you to do the less expensive one. I know it doesn't sound like a very good salesman, but it's honestly the best process for your project, because you get more glass space, you're getting the same thing on the process, and actually, in our price point for its labor, it's a little bit less expensive to put this window, which was one reason that the price difference was different, you know, one versus the other. Both windows, do you mind holding this real quick? Both windows I proposed was a single hung. Some of y'all may have heard this a while ago. The bottom one will still open and come down when it's in the wall. To come down like this, it has multi-seals all the way around, seals in different places. The top one, I did not do it as what they call a double hung, because most of the time you find, and people that don't live in the house or in the building all the time, and that kind of stuff would end up not closing it all the way, leaving it open, and things can get in, air can get in that. So keeping the top one in place is a better latching system than down the road. They're not pushing the other one all the way up or all the way down, not latching it, things are open for whatever, burglary or weather or chipmunks, and that kind of thing. So both of these applications would have the bottom sash that would unfold, the top one would not open. If you guys, if you did have something that somebody broke, one nice thing also with the pellet product is that there is a very easy way for us to remove a sash and replace the sash, so the glass, if something did happen to that open one. A lot of people will sell, a lot of times the double hung is great because you can just remove the sash. With pellet, the way they have it, this piece comes out, there's a couple of brackets, and you just remove it, you can replace the glass. So if somebody did break the top one, or if we had a warranty situation with it, you know, that it lost its argon or something like that, that it would, you know, easily go back into place. These are energy rated, so they're going to have a 98% argon. On them, the foam fill sashes have 7.14 insulation value. Both of those basically meaning that the coldest thing on a building is the windows. If the most insulated building would be a building with no windows. Nobody wants that. So putting all those parts into this, like I said, there are cheaper options that you could throw in as a window, but in the long run, we wouldn't want to put that into your place here. So, do you have any questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
Do they come with screens?
They do. So there will be a full screen, a half screen, so the top is open, on this line, so we'll have a screen on it. And it basically is on here. So it'll have a half screen like that. Now what you're seeing here, like the grids, I don't have any of that. This is just a sample board, but it won't have grids inside of it, but it does have the screen on there. We do standard on there. They call it the in-view screen. It's a little thicker screen. It also has a better view, quote unquote, view on it, but it's a pretty tough screen, you know, for that. That is probably the thing that gets messed up the most is the screens. One nice thing about that you're doing double hungs versus casements, and you're like frames, is that most time people would clean the window would remove the screen. In this case, you don't have to remove the screen, so there's no reason for anybody to remove the screen. So less accidents, less thing of somebody hitting it, and that kind of thing on there. As far as most of your buildings are all pretty much identical. In the case of, we're not standing in front of them right now, is everything on the outside of those that have wood, all the white part that you would see on your buildings, that's all going to be wrapped in aluminum. When we take parts of it off, because we have to take pieces of it off when we put this in, we're going to foam fill it, flash it, seam it, tape it on there. On the inside, they'll push up against the trim that's there right now. There's a couple of your places that the wood, and we didn't go on all of them, but we can see that a couple of them need a couple pieces of wood replaced. We're just going to replace those pieces. They'll have to be stained or painted on the inside. But everything on the outside, basically, if it's around and near the windows, the ones on the corners, and all that, that's all going to be aluminum. So the guys will no longer have to paint that, ever be there forever. And then put a color match caulk, on that also. So even those windows down at the bottom in the basement where you've got a glass, and you got a big section between that and that whole section, if it's like, I don't know if you know what I'm familiar with, but the 8-inch, 9-inch piece that's in the middle, that'll all be a continual metal piece that we bend on site, for you. So basically, part of our pricing and sales, part of it is that all that's also getting taken care of, so that's no longer gonna be a painting issue. We're not just doing right at the window, we're doing all that around the window, at the same time.
And then no matter how, like, what condition the window is in, so if you find one that's like really bad, it's all the same price, it's just.
Yeah,
so
we've
you
taken
want
into
to-
account a percentage of what typically
Okay.
happens,
Okay,
on there. And then on the buildings that have, well, every building I think has it, right, the angle.
Yeah.
We, let me see if I separated that on here, maybe be able to dictate it. It's some bigger ones where you see like 104 and stuff like that. Those would be, I think we cut it off, it's 8 feet or 7 feet.
9 feet.
9 feet, yep. Then, thank you, is that, because it's gonna have a transom above it, is that the rest of the top, if you're not familiar with it, we could send some literature of a product called LP Smart Side. So it'll be a pre-painted product filled in to match the look of kind of the board and batten sort of look you'll have, to fill in those sections, so that you don't have glass all the way to the top. This probably would be another 20 grand easily.
Yeah.
If you guys were gonna do the shapes, and try to mock what you have right now, on that kind of thing. So that'll all be pre-painted, and sealed. We will do drywall on the inside with a very light texture. We didn't have painting in the front inside, when they're the outside would be pre-painted, so it would just be, we have a painter if y'all wanna use them, we can send them down, it's minimal, but, all the outside stuff will be pre-painted. On there. Also, where we're filling that in, we'll put insulation, in the walls and stuff too for those areas.
Is there a choice for the colors outside for the aluminum? Is
Sure.
like,
We don't care, yeah. I mean, the biggest deal you're gonna have is that you're gonna have some of it still white, like your soft and fascia whites and stuff. But yeah, if y'all, basically, there's 40 colors, you could pick them and the colors if you wanted to change it up. The window for the price point would have to stay at white, for what it is. If we go to almond or black, or we talked about a large up there, are more expensive.
Is the village eligible for a focus on energy rebate?
Not sure. That I don't know.
Is that
I mean, the
gonna be-
residential is,
Yeah.
but it's very minimal. I mean, people hear all the commercials,
Yeah.
far as like Energy Star, it's like $600 for a customer. I mean, somebody at a residential home spending $60,000 on a 3-story house on windows, is getting $600. They think it's like thousands and thousands.
Right.
It's not, but I don't know what you know, from a commercial application, I'm not sure what that is. So. Any questions on any of that?
Do they all have to be single, like, can we just have stationary, Kurt, did you ever look at, do all the windows have to open?
They're not.
No.
We did some
Some.
picture.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah,
wondered.
so when you
Yeah,
look
we
on the
discussed
quote, there's several of
There's a
them
lot
that say
They call them picture windows?
picture.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of picture windows.
Because that was
No.
one thing I was like, they
We're
don't all have
eliminating
to
a
open.
lot of the open and closing.
I mean, in office spaces, yes, but I feel like some spaces, we just don't need them to
Right.
open.
No,
Right, there's some
Okay.
like corners, like your corner pieces are
Yeah.
pictures.
no.
All the basement windows are pictures.
Yeah,
On there.
one, some in the kitchen, I mean,
Yep,
in that,
there's one where the counter goes up against the,
In the
you know,
kitchen,
that's a picture window.
in the kitchen in building one.
yeah. Okay, I just was curious.
Yep,
And they'd be Pella, you're looking at the Pella vinyl, right?
it is. So
Yes.
I price it in we also have another line called Sunrise that we do. The Sunrise was a lot higher price. We do a lot of Pella. So when we do these things, Pella usually, we can beat even some of the ABC store and all that kind of stuff on price points with a much.
My dad used to sell windows, so
Gotcha.
I know Marvin, I know Pella.
Yeah,
You can
Marvin,
talk to Kurt.
so Marvin doesn't have a vinyl,
Yeah,
but, in their fiberglass, which we saw also would be way more expensive.
okay.
On that. We did also, there was asked, I think you have the numbers, I don't know if those are shared, that's your email, right, Phyllis? And,
Yeah.
yeah, for the entry doors, if y'all wanted to do those at the same time. So we did a Pella steel doors, one with glass, with, half glass, I think it was.
Half glass and third glass.
Yeah, on there, so we did the different price points on that also. Those will be foam fill sashes and foam. You would not need, or I would actually recommend this application not putting storm doors,
Okay.
back on there.
So it'd be interesting to look at in, what buildings you would recommend for that, because you're
Well,
building.
there's 3 or 4, and actually there's, I think, maybe 5 of building 5, but the 2 front doors on all the buildings, I would strongly recommend to go down that road with a steel door with half glass, especially with the price numbers that he has presented us.
Yeah, we actually we didn't charge all labor, on the doors to do them at the same time as the windows.
So that would be
So you saw
awesome.
the numbers.
Eliminating
So it's something
the,
worth thinking about, would be a good, something.
eliminating the storm door would be nice, because they don't really do anything, and all they do is blow them.
Yeah, right.
So.
The only thing y'all would have to do is get, lock sets. I figured y'all would wanna get, the only thing it doesn't come with is the handle. So if you get your lock sets and match them, to whatever you wanna do.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. So that's something that wasn't on there.
You don't supply the lock sets? No.
To be honest with you, we can supply them, but you would be better. I could tell you where to go get them, and,
Well,
yeah.
we've got Cornell, I think we would just let them guys rock and roll, but that's my personal opinion right now.
So, it's, let's hear you put the window bid out, just so you're aware, but I think it's even later in the, because it's just a presentation, so we'll wait, it's on our agenda for later.
Yeah, it's December 12th. They
Yeah.
said that they have to get
December 12th, okay.
So we'll talk about it, it's on the agenda.
So one other thing then, because he said that y'all are, I guess the thing has changed a little bit, that you're getting a different kind of bid pattern than when y'all started, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
So one reason Pella came to that, sounds like, we'll see what the number is, because you're talking about end of December versus November. Their end of the year is the 24th of November, so that was a deal of one reason, of course, no matter what,
Okay, but
because here tonight.
no, let me write
But
it
just
down.
to let you know, not to, I mean, y'all gotta do your due diligence, but, I don't think it'll be a problem keeping the price point, but I would say definitely
Do you
by
want
the end of the year, we'd have to do
contact
something.
the company and tell them that this bid has been put out there, and would they honor it?
I can make that choice,
Okay.
so I will honor it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I mean, of course, we always say, or I always say anyway, the more people talk to, the better we look, so go for it. So, and that kind of thing, so.
Do you have your card?
Yeah, I can get some in the truck,
Great.
yep, I'll grab some of those.
Okay, does anybody else have any other questions for Lou? I think that's great.
If, you're welcome to keep these if you want them.
There's go ahead, I was just gonna ask, I don't know how the board feels about it, but I don't know if we wanna look at these windows.
Let's hold it. I mean, we can.
But I just kind of thought, they can be drafty, and I know they've had like plastic over them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that might just be, these up here, I don't think we need to do these.
We got more involved there because there's 2 of them, one on each end of the gym that got ductwork involved with them, that we'd have to remove all of that first before we played with the windows.
So one thing, if you don't mind me mentioning when I mentioned that one day we were walking
Yeah.
down there, is that it's up to you guys, but depending on how y'all want to do it, I don't know how dark y'all feel it is in here, but you could save some money too, as far as if we were to maybe side between, like take some of them out and actually do a little bit more of a insulating siding section in between some windows versus it all being windows, because that would be a lot more expensive. So that's an option too, if y'all decide you want to do that, and if y'all decide y'all want us to look at it, then we can. So just an option for that, so.
Yeah, well, I guess if I think about it, we really don't need that natural light that much because the lights are on in the gym or in here.
Sure. Really up to y'all, I mean, of course, air, glass is more of a conductor of cold and heat than insulated wall, so just something to think about on that also.
Well, I haven't thought about these, but it's a thought.
Okay.
I know over the years they put plastic over them,
Well, I know, and I don't know why.
because it's cold.
So y'all's, just so I know, since I'm here, y'all's timeframe for as decision-wise, where
I would
y'all
say
at?
by December, we'll definitely.
Middle of December?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, because our board meeting, our next board meeting is December 14th.
Okay.
So we should have a decision by that
By
night.
then?
Yes,
Cool.
that's all, yeah, for sure. I'll make a note of it and keep you posted.
Sure. I'll go grab some
Our
cards.
window bid is good through December 11th, well, I think even earlier than that. December 12th, okay. And so, yes, we'll definitely have a
Sure.
decision.
Great. And if you have any questions, I know I'm a competitor of other people, but if you have questions of things, if you need me to
Yeah.
explain more and that kind of stuff, just let me know.
That's great. Thank you so much for
Now,
coming.
if you got the bid, this is something you can start on as you get the materials in. This isn't something you have to wait for the summer, right?
Nope, so we don't have to wait for summer. So basically, what we looked at right now, if y'all were gonna, where we're at today, where are we at in installs right now, we're into March,
Okay.
on installs, so, let's say a month from now, probably in April, May, type deal, just depending on what our volume usually
Okay.
is selling and that kind of thing.
All right.
So, and then the nice thing about the buildings, from what I understand, is that nobody's living in them, so we should be able to operate pretty easily. The other thing is, which is important, please ask the other people, we're 100% in-house, so no subcontractors. So you don't have anybody coming here going, what am I supposed to do?
All right.
One quick question. Is there a way to get like a, I don't know, design, sort of a mock-up of what it would end up looking like? Like to take one of the sides of the buildings and photograph it and kind of,
There is the ability, the only thing, we'll do it, we just don't want to work for other competitors to say, hey, do this. What can you make it look like that? But yes, we have the abilities. Especially, I think it would be
But
interesting
general idea.
for y'all to see, especially with the sides that we're going to be removing glass
Right.
and
okay.
that kind of stuff.
But
we
that's
can do that. If that's something you guys want us to do, we
And
can do
it
it.
could come in handy if we have to find a new tenant and we're trying to sell a
Yeah.
space, to be like, hey, here's what you're going to be getting, so
Sure.
maybe for that application. I think
Okay.
that could be useful.
What I can do is have Mike goes here, come down, we have a thing called Hover, that we'll do one of the buildings, and then we can, mock it up, that in, like the end of the end wall, or that corner wall to show y'all, and then I can email you.
It wouldn't even have to be
You took
turned up.
pictures, profile.
Yeah, but this thing actually measures it,
Oh.
it's easier than trying to guess, so. What are you saying, sorry?
I was saying, it wouldn't even have to be like a printout. It could be just, here's the screen and this is what it's basically
We'll
going to
do
look like.
better. We'll do better. So, we got the know-how, so we'll do that.
I'm just curious. Personally, I'd like to know what it's going to look like in hand.
Yep, that's not a problem.
Okay.
So that would show the single hung and the picture windows.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, we probably won't do the whole house, the whole building all the way around, but I think what we would do is for instance, that building number 1, we would do that in and the front.
Right.
So that way-
The-
Right, so you can see the difference of what that's gonna look like and that kind of thing. So,
Wonderful.
yeah, we can do that.
Cool.
Um,
Thank you.
I'll go run these out there, I'll go grab a car. cars and all that.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yep, you're welcome.
Excellent. Great information. Thank you. Very nice.
I'm gonna come back anyway for my cars. Oh, you
Because the other ones were double hung.
Yeah, just.
The other ones were double hung. Oh, what? Yes, it is on there. Okay. So we'll talk about it, 'cause it's a new business.
I understand.
But I just,
Isn't this like the third?
yeah. If we could, yes.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
He says he appreciated it. He says, I appreciate you telling me.
Or not?
No, and it would be really nice,
Do it.
because, the door in the building two, where Harmonious Beginnings is, I really do feel like that door could be replaced. It's hard for them to lock, just because you can never tell if it's locked. You have to lock it first and then pull it shut, and the screen's just stupid, and I think it would make the buildings look better too.
And I think like the buildings in the back of the buildings, they could be solid steel. And
Yeah.
we need to have windows.
Yeah.
Because that's where somebody would possibly break in.
Yeah.
So
It would be really
Okay.
good.
So just have a big old solid window, or a solid door, but then on the other ones, you can have the half.
Sure.
window. I mean, the half glass.
That'd be excellent.
I would maybe say something
Yeah.
on all of
Yeah.
them.
Agreed.
But that's
Okay.
something
Just
to
for the safe security.
Yeah.
purposes of it.
I keep thinking somebody's moving, like down, like missing down there, because you're so
Yeah,
far away.
yeah.
Very strange.
Okay, so on to new business.
There's no regret.
Resolution for for 2023-9, approval of the 2024 operating tax levies reflected
I
in
got
2024. It's in your packet if you want to take a look.
Hand them out there. Let's go downstairs, I'll show you downstairs.
Yeah, our absentee. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yep.
Take a look, and I need a motion.
Oh, a motion to.
For the tax
You shoot
levy?
myself
Yes.
an email real quick about the, just so I'm sure.
I will make a motion for the approval of the 2024 Village of Bowman Park operating budget. Or no, the resolution, the approval of the 2024 operating tax levy to be collected in 2024.
And I
I'll
need a
fix that
second.
typo.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay. First by trustee Zine, second by trustee Hinkle. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, so passed. We also approval of 2024 Village of Bowman Park operating budget and appropriating the necessary funds for the operation of government administration of the Village of Bowman Park for the year of 2024. That's also in your packet, take a look. Oh, thank you.
Well, I haven't sent it yet, I just,
Can I send it?
yeah, I just, yeah, I haven't yet.
That's fine.
I'll
I'll get to it.
I just had it in my hand and I realized I needed a certain iron.
Yes. Is there anything you want to say?
I just have a little bit different format this time, because it was a kind of big one, because we haven't done a budget resolution in quite a few months, and this is coming to the end of the year when we want to be fiscally responsible, and make sure that our budget is balanced before the end of the year. So you'll see at the top here with the green, this is an increased amount of income that we didn't expect coming into the 2023 budget from last year. And so,
That's the 32,782.
right, and so that, we have extra there. And then on the next section, you'll see that we're looking for $17,191 to be able to balance all these different line items that you
Right.
see here.
Okay.
And so in the end, we're still in a positive number.
Which is great.
Okay. So that,
It
okay.
scared me there for a second.
The hall rental seems like it did a little bit better, or is it the gym rental? No? Yes? Did we take a dive there?
The hall rental is not as much as of right now.
And that doesn't include the gym rental, right?
Correct. This is just the hall.
All right. Can I just ask, did anybody else get anybody upset about the gun show that was here?
I didn't.
I didn't hear
I had
anything.
one person.
I haven't heard anything. I heard their signage was very
There was a lot,
interesting.
it was a little loud the
but
day
that's
of,
the only thing
but it was just a flag.
Was
it
it,
wasn't
in-
like-
was it here?
No, it's downstairs,
Downstairs.
in the gym.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, the only feedback I heard was that the signs were interesting, but nothing,
Upsetting, okay.
nothing upsetting.
I had one neighbor that was a little upset, I was like, I'm not saying, no. Okay, anything, no, when I told them that, they were fine. So I need an approval, or I need a motion to approve the operating budget for 2024.
I move to approve the 2024 operating budget for the Village of Bowman Park.
Second? I'll second. Okay. First by trustee Hinkle, second by trustee Stein. All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call? Go ahead.
Ruth, aye.
Yes or aye?
Stein, aye.
Hinkle, aye.
You guys have it so fast. All right.
Item C is what you were just talking about, right? Yeah, okay.
Oh, so I can move on, Kendall? Because you already took care of it?
No,
Well,
the
we
one you
still-
just approved was the budget for 2024.
Okay.
That's what we
Oh,
talked
you
about at the
just-
last meeting.
You just moved ahead.
I
No.
was just asked you, you said yes.
Oh, I didn't realize. I didn't see
Sorry.
line C. So line C, resolution 2023-8, authorizing the transfer of budgeted funds. So that's this last part here. Oh, this is
So again, that's the surplus versus the
right?
switching it around. Okay.
Okay, so, someone like to make a motion?
I'll move to approve resolution 2023-8, authorizing the transfer of budgeted funds.
I'll second.
Okay. First by trustee Hinkle, second by trustee Stein. All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You guys have it, so passed.
Nice that we have an extra. We'll put that.
Yeah, that is nice.
We got a lot of
But that's towards
unexpected
it.
expenses.
I know with the trees.
Yeah, it's crazy, right at the end of the year.
So just line item D, the discussion of complex window bids. So Latiria got out a pretty simple something to the paper for the window bids. We have this one in, I think we have two more from somebody Kurt talked to, was there two more? Just one more.
There was one more that was renewal by Anderson, and the guy said, even before I come out, I want to tell you, our windows start at $2,500 a window. And your complex would probably be $750,000.
Yeah, so we just moved that.
Yeah.
Move along, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, we haven't gotten anything from anyone else, though. So, we did reach out to WeatherTight, because that's who we started with, because they were the ones that, they were telling us we should do double hung, and siding unlimited, talked about single hung, which I think is better, because it's not like anybody's living in a new building.
You don't either.
And it was significantly lower. But we're still giving the option to see if WeatherTight wants to come back with anything, because that's what we started with, just a good favor. And we'll see what happens. And then I would like to, by December 14th, everybody write that date down.
I did.
So did your wife. And by December 14th, I would like to make a decision so we can let them know by December 15th, like, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going.
So if he says the bid is good till the 12th, is that just like a grace period he's giving us next few days then?
It sounds to me like.
I told him it was by the 14th, we would have an
So,
answer.
okay,
So
I just
think-
want to make sure we don't like all of a sudden, guess what, it's $5,000 more. I, you know.
I
The way I interpreted that was it wouldn't be them increasing the prices, it would be Pella.
Oh,
And
he
then
was
he would
gonna-
have to transfer that additional cost. But he said,
he would-
don't worry about it, I will honor it anyway.
Okay.
So I think it'll be fine.
That's the way I understood it.
So I really would like to get this decision made
Yeah,
and like,
get it
this is
done.
what we're doing.
Been going on for years.
You know, we did have CUNY, this is the difference, just so you're aware. CUNY was supposed to be the people that were kind of the managing of all of this and checking it out. And Kurt is really taking on this project, and Lateria's kind of helping Kurt,
Okay.
but lean on him, because really he is, I feel like he's kind of our project manager for this, and he's asked to be the project manager.
Mhm.
So I'm really leaning on Kurt as well, because I don't know as much about windows. He talks to all of them. He's the one that reached out to Siding Unlimited, which has been great,
Excellent.
and I really like their presentation. So I think it's great, and we just spent a lot of money on CUNY Architects, and they really did nothing for us. And it wasn't my fault, but it was a waste of our
Can I
resources.
add one more thing?
Yes.
After talking with you last week when I was in my tree,
Kurt, he was deer hunting, and I go, he's like, I'm up in the tree stand. I'm like, okay. He's like, if there's something going by, I might let you go. I said, that's fine.
well, anyway, Brian Burke reached out to me from WeatherTight, and I said that we haven't got other people, but they're bidding single hung windows.
Yeah.
And so he said, well, that's not what we bid, and I said, yeah. So I said, well, you come up with a number with single hung, and he said he's gonna try to get a number this week.
Okay, so keep me posted.
So, you know, I just wanna let you
Get it to
know
both
about
of
that.
us, please.
Yeah. Do you wanna know the numbers, or did you show everybody the numbers?
From this, yeah,
Yeah.
we've got all the copies.
It's significantly different.
We got all the copies of this one and this one, so yeah, it's a good, it looks very good. And we've got he gave a card to all of us.
Right.
So then procedurally then, if we get another bid, we just review those like on our own then, and then compare and come back and decide in December then, is that the the timeline that we're looking at?
I would really like to make a decision.
Yeah, again, I just wanna make sure
We can-
that
I mean-
everyone understands we have to review it then on our own.
As a board, though, we can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Make our recommendation.
and we can decide that night. I mean, we can
Yeah.
have all the information, but it would be good for you to look at ahead of time
Okay.
to make a recommendation, just like we do with a furnace, with a roof, with,
Okay,
yeah.
correct? I mean, we've done that before, where we've had the bids in front of us ahead of time. And
Yeah, and
made a
if you
decision
needed
that night.
3 bids.
Can't tell what your face looks like, why are you looking at me like that?
I just
Thank
have
you.
a concern because someone might say something about opening up the bids. That's all, I'm just saying.
Oh, you're thinking that they might,
That, you know, it's supposed to be sealed bids and they opened on December 12th.
well, could we look at the bids on, between the 12th and the 14th?
Yes.
Yeah, then that's fine.
Sounds good.
And Kendall's really good about communicating, but we gotta be, like, I think,
But I think as,
texting the board members as well, like,
Yeah.
please look at these bids between now and the 14th. Yeah,
right, and just kind of, so that all the board members have a chance to look at it.
Yeah.
And if you needed a third bid, I did reach out to Renewal by
just
Anderson.
what Laura said.
Oh, you said that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also there was Abby Windows that came out, you see that Abby on TV, video guy, but I
Oh,
have
yeah,
no
very
girl.
little girl, yeah.
And they came out and measured, and they just never got back to Kurt. He's reached out a couple times to them, and they just never got back to him.
Okay.
So
So
maybe they're not
the due
interested.
diligence is.
So there were 4 people
If we
right
don't,
there.
yeah, I'll say, okay. All right. Anything else about the windows that you, anybody, is there anything
I
else?
have a question, you know, we've got this money allocated here, this 256,000, 7,000, and I'm just thinking, if we were to get the doors and things like that, Kendall had said something that we could get the additional $150,000 if we needed it at a competitive rate,
Yeah, 6.25.
6.25 as compared to 7% in other loans. So that is something that we have the availability of.
Mhm.
So that's something to keep in mind too.
That's
So,
what I meant, repeat.
We don't have to take 150, we
No.
don't need 100.
no,
So it's up to
exactly,
150.
but it comes up to that.
That's just a number I threw out there for estimates.
Yeah.
It's a number
Perfect.
that we deem necessary.
Right.
Okay.
And I thank you for checking that out too, because that was something,
No,
you and I
but-
first talked, it was,
It's gonna make us scramble, I'm going, okay, I don't do that.
oh, we got that.
I know. Okay,
And he's gonna throw a number at us on what this would take. And he suggested, he goes, probably 75% of them be just blocked off, so that you're not losing.
It's cold in here in the winter time.
Oh,
Well,
I remember.
yeah, it just, you don't need a light because you have fluorescence.
Yeah. I wonder if these fluorescents could be replaced with LEDs. Everything looks so yellow in here.
agreed.
I think
I'm gonna
that-
ask the maintenance guy, fill out that maintenance form.
Okay. I'll do that.
Okay, so, I don't have, there's nothing to vote on there, I just we wanted to have a discussion. Anybody else have any questions about the windows? So Ken can go back to dinner. Okay, so last item, we need a resolution approval of accounts payable. Make a motion, and you make a motion?
I will make a motion to accept the approval of the accounts payable as presented.
Is there a second?
second.
Okay, first by trustee Rude, second by trustee Hinkle. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, so passed and adjourned at 7:45.